This overview is designed to spark your interest in Best Plan Pro, not really teach you how to use it, but rather show you how it's going to directly impact your bottom line, and more importantly, how it's going to fix some of the big stress points in your day-to-day life as an insurance agent in final expense. Let's open up a test case. We're going to go to Data, Load Data. Let's open up and run this particular test case. We're not looking at any coverage information right now. This is just underwriting only. You can leave the coverage state, face value, nicotine stuff out if you're just looking for what is going to be the best coverage. We can see here Trinity's simplified issue. So now let's see if we can get someone who just wants to pay with a Direct Express card coverage. Let's add in a state. We're going to, let's say Massachusetts, and put in $7,500. So for this particular case, AIG is going to be the best price, and they accept Direct Express, which means we want to probably set up our client with this right here. What does guaranteed issue mean? Well, right under guaranteed issue, it tells you exactly what it means. First and second year of all premiums paid plus 10%, third year full coverage. We call this the plan info window. You can navigate using your arrow keys going up and down to go through each option. In here, you'll see all of the pertinent information that you might want in the house right here. If there's something that you want that isn't here, please let us know by going to Help, Report an Issue. And in here, you can submit a support request or call us and ask for some more information, and we'll try. We want to make the software the best that it can be. So there's a couple really interesting things that I wanted to bring up. There's a clear flow built into the software. Get your basic information, configure your coverage, move on to medications, and then conditions and events. The software is going to try and help guide your questions. So if we added a medication to the software, it tells you that you should ask for the medication name, what it's prescribed to treat, not what it does, what it's prescribed to treat, and the dosage. Now, if you're on a blood thinner, during testing we saw that some people wanted to add that it's a blood thinner. You're not prescribed to treat a blood thinner, right? No one's prescribed to thin their blood for no reason. We have to get to the underlying root cause of why they're on this blood thinner to begin with. Well, they had a stroke. All right, what's the dosage? 5 milligrams. When were they first prescribed? 10 years ago. Most recent fill was today. Well, let's look at that medication again. Notice it took the dosage out. You don't have to put anything besides numbers in here. So if they're on 5.5, you just put 5.5. If they're in units, you can just put the numbers in here. You don't have to worry about any sort of English text. One of the other benefits of the software is you don't have to worry about generics anymore. Now I'm going to hand it off to my partner Rick to talk about a particular case involving generics.
We have Gabapentin, which is basically for multiple sclerosis 2 years ago. Well, Gabapentin is the same as baclofen, I do believe. And this is to show that the software knows all the generics. There's 14,000 prescription drugs in there, and they're generics. So I was caught in the house a couple times, had to call my upline. I don't see this. I think I can put them in this. Oh, no, that's a generic. Oh, gosh, okay. That's something else I got to memorize. Here we are again, figuring out, let me open this application, let me close this application, let me go in a chat room. Okay, let's see here. Columbia is giving this client, excluding them actually, it looks like. Yeah, they're not even putting him in there because of Gabapentin. Let's see. And let's see for right here. Go to Columbia, baclofen, which is a generic. 36 months they've been taking it with decline. That's why they're excluded. The agent would not know that. He'd be fumbling. He'd write the application, submit it, decline.
Have you ever had to deal with comparing two graded policies? Let's say we're trying to compare Forrester's graded and Mutual of Omaha graded. The first year is 30%, and the second year is 70% for Forrester's, and then Mutual of Omaha is the first 2 years at 100% premium plus 10%. That's some useful information for the house. We took the We took the liberty of translating what all these branded words like graded and modified and all of those things mean, and we turn them into something you can use to sell. And you can really compare what each plan is. Another way you can do this is if you go to settings and you show the plan ranking system. It's a numerical way of comparing apples to apples what each plan means. Rank 1 is immediate coverage. Rank 3 is graded coverage. So Sentinel Security New Vantage 2 seems to be comparable to Forrester's. So we compiled all the information you might need in the house, including what graded means for some of these different carriers. What about if you're trying to figure out what nicotine means for each of these carriers? Well, we have that in there too. If you go into the plan info and you scroll to nicotine, you can see for Sentinel here, tobacco or nicotine within the last 12 consecutive months, pipe or cigar less than 4 times in a month. Some of these carriers are a little odd about what they mean with nicotine. Some of them are kind of wishy-washy. So referring to this information is probably going to be helpful when you're filling out the application. So keeping track of dosages is sometimes a little bit challenging. Rick, why don't you talk about Aetna's policy with 40 or more units of insulin daily?
So here we go now. We're going to load another test case here. We're going to do demo diabetes. This is kind of along the lines of what we did earlier. Aetna, where's Aetna here? Aetna is level because they're on 30 units. So we'll go over the 40 units and go to 70. Let's see where Aetna puts them. Instead of going through underwriting guides, calling the carriers, on hold, calling your upline, we see that Aetna now says modified because that's what they say in their application. And let's just see, 40 units. I think it's diagnosed medically aged requires 40 or more units of insulin daily. Do you have diabetes? Yes, requires. So right here, that's why. And that's all in the software.
If we had a case where someone had congestive heart failure in the last 6 months, and then they had breast cancer 4 years ago, and then they had their most recent treatment 2 years ago, we'd find that Transamerica comes back as excluded. Why is that? Well, if you look at their application, in the past year, has a proposed insured had any incident of congestive heart failure? The answer is yes. What about cancer? Yes. In the past 4 years? Yes. Double knockdown, they're no longer eligible for any coverage. Let's say you just got appointed with a new carrier. You can go to your producer settings, set your available products, and just click the check mark. And now you have accurate underwriting for that carrier as well. And you can see, coincidentally, it was the best price for this particular person. Rick, why don't you talk about the intricacies of the knockdown problem with ages and face values?
This guy's 76 years old. He wants $2,000 of coverage. He just wants a little extra coverage to cover his family after he passes away. Well, we'll see here that in a minute, AMAM and Aetna, they exclude them basically because if the 2,000 is too low, Aetna or AMAM starts at 2,500 and Aetna is at 3,000. And modifying only goes to 75. He's 76 years old. You can look it up afterwards, but the software knows all those types of things. Any manager is not going to know every state he has an agent in and all the different minutia about each carrier. It's overwhelming. So if you put in here 3,500 and run it again, we'll see what happens here. Probably AMAM because it starts at 2,500, American Amicable, and Aetna starts at 3,000. And let's see what happens. AMAM comes up, American Amicable immediate, and Aetna's coming up For some reason, they are coming up excluded, and that's probably because of the age. It only goes up to 75. But if we change this to 74 and we analyze it one more time, he'll probably come up modified because, again, now we're at the right face value and we're at the right age. Again, a lot going on here, a lot of moving parts for the agent while they're trying to be in a house and trying to close sale and help protect the family. Aetna modified, there you go.
This overview is designed to spark your interest in Best Plan Pro, not really teach you how to use it, but rather show you how it's going to directly impact your bottom line, and more importantly, how it's going to fix some of the big stress points in your day-to-day life as an insurance agent in final expense. Get back to selling. We'll handle the underwriting. Download your 7-day free trial today at bestplanpro.com.